open this up just for a closed session. If somebody wants to make a comment now, they can. We will limit it to 3 minutes as well, but we also will have the opportunity for the public to also comment on the agenda item specifically. So if anybody would like to comment now before we go into closed session, just for a few minutes, you're more than welcome to, or you can wait till the agenda item. I'll give you that option. Any- Good?
Yeah.
Anybody want to comment on anything? Okay, we're going to go to close just for a few minutes and then we'll be right back. I'll call this meeting to order at 5:14. We can do a verbal roll call if you don't mind, Miss Other Katie.
So Mayor Ido Besa Martinez?
Mhm.
Here.
Yes.
Councilmember Mendoza?
Here.
Councilmember Burnworth is traveling. Councilmember Ambrano?
Here.
And Councilmember Tucker?
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Ms. Lisa, do you want to lead us? Sure. Ready to begin.
Pro Tem, I said that's okay. She's forgiven.
Okay. Do you want to report out?
Yeah, the council briefly went into closed session a few minutes after 5, and Council Katie Turner provided an update on the City of Imperial versus Imperial Valley Computer Manufacturing, as well as Imperial Valley Manufacturing versus the City of Imperial. Direction was given to council, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. So if you guys will allow us, we're going to have a presentation first, and then if you have any questions along the way, please let us know. But we will be having public comment afterwards. We just wanted to present this. If you have, I think it might be very informative, and then if you have, jog some more questions for you. So I'm going to lead this to Mr. Morita to introduce our presenter.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. Dennis Morita, City Manager. And I want to introduce Othon Mota, who's our Community Development Director. He wears many hats in that capacity, but one of the hats he wears is interacting with companies, individuals, and anybody who is interested in developing in the City of Imperial. It might involve single-family residences, multifamily, commercial, industrial, whatever it might be. He is essentially the front person for the city, and he's going to detail for you, and it's going to be up in a PowerPoint, some of the background associated with the data center. Obviously, the reason we're here is that there was reference in a document that was filed with the Registrar of Voters that referenced the fact that the Board of Supervisors didn't secretly coordinate, but it was the City of Imperial who was secretly coordinating. I would just editorialize a bit that it's not clear about whether we were secretly coordinating to defeat the data center or secretly coordinating to have the data center come to Imperial. If it was the latter, we failed because, as you'll see from the PowerPoint, there was a long exchange of meetings, correspondence, and at the end of the day, the developer in August of 2025 communicated with us in writing that he was withdrawing his application. I say application, Othon will be able to articulate whether it even got that far, but he was withdrawing the project from the City of Imperial because conversations he had with the county suggested that it was a permitted by right use. And so with that, I'll let Mr. Mota go through at least Imperial's involvement, if you will, with the data center from its inception until on or about August of last year.
Thank you, Thon, for coming in on a Friday night, and everybody else in the audience as well.
Good evening, council.
Oh. Not yet?
Wait a couple minutes.
Flash drive?
No, we're looking for one because they apparently can't get emails.
We're gonna pass it around like kids, huh? Read it and pass it, read it and pass it. Just kidding.
But before we do the
Yeah, do
presentation,
the overview.
I just want to make it clear that we treat developers the same. We get the same courtesy. We have the same process. We openly meet with all developers in any capacity. It doesn't really matter if it's a minor project, single family residential, to a high scale data center. We treat everyone the same. We give the same opportunity, and we always try to be within the timeline as well. So we're going to go over a couple slides to explain what happened with this project, which is no different from any other project, and how we treat others as well. Do you have any questions for me now?
No,
Before
I'm
we-
just grateful for the opportunity for the public to come and then for all of us to be able to tell our side, so to speak, rather than others, kind of navigating our stories. So thank you for coming in on Friday night. I know there's plenty to do. It's nice and hot outside, you know, you're going to enjoy that hot weather, but you're here with us, and so we appreciate that. But are we ready? Not yet.
I'm hoping.
We can also share these out there too. So we apologize for the technical
We
difficulties.
can share ours with the audience, but I think we might want to try and wait for it to come up for anybody watching online.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. I'm gonna text it to anyone who. Yeah, you. Thanks.
Is this better?
Please tell me.
Pretend this karaoke.
You're gonna go first.
I got you. Dennis, is your computer on, Dennis? Anyone's?
You have to come up to the podium though to tell your joke. You have to come up to the podium so everybody hears your joke. Okay, say it. Is it a clean joke? Yeah.
What did the judge say when the skunk walked into the courtroom?
PU? I don't know.
Odor in the court.
That's the mother of an attorney.
Oh, give me your flash drive. Oh, you don't, yeah.
We're having technical difficulties, but our attorney is also IT now, so give us a second. So happy Mother's Day to the mothers out here. Hope you guys are gonna do something fun. If you're a pet mama, happy Mother's Day too.
All right, we're close.
Yeah.
They get the code like guys on Father's Day.
We will say happy Father's Day too when it's time.
And happy belated birthday to Mayor Ida.
Oh, that's right. Happy
Thanks.
belated birthday.
Yeah, I'm old, I'm grayer, you see it? We're
You
all,
mentioned she went out.
I know, it wasn't. Where were they?
He's
They're
got it.
everywhere. Oh yeah, I was at Skag. We need to play like the Jeopardy.
Yeah.
melodies. Okay, almost there, guys. Thank you for being patient. Is he feeling okay? Is he feeling okay?
Saying
He's not answering.
you get to be anywhere.
He's gonna take a shower.
Chose to be with us.
Yeah, Friday night, fun. City of Imperial.
Oh yeah, he's so sufre. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. It's funny. I barely got it. Are we good?
No, apparently. We'll know when it comes out.
We might do follow along.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. We want to make sure that we can get it uploaded so that those who are viewing online have the opportunity to view it as well, so. The online part is working. We're just trying to get the presentation to work so that those who are here and. Oh, yes, yes, that's what we're working on.
It is live right now.
Uh-huh. We just want to make sure that the presentation is available as well.
Katie, can we post it on the Facebook?
Yes.
In fact, I think I can do that.
I think
No,
No, you-
Why can't we connect to her computer like we do all the other time?
I don't know. Can you hardwire it, like there to there or no? The computer to there or no? Yeah. Do you want to give them your computer?
Yeah, I think we should do that. There's a power connection there.
Yeah, that'll work.
An HDMI cable, there should be one in the room in the back.
It's just a power.
We just,
Okay, Lisa, you're gonna have to tell another joke. We're still waiting.
That's the whole clean joke thing, that's the problem.
Yeah.
They're gonna be the weather jokes, right? Like that. Weather jokes work, right? Do you have any jokes about the weather?
Yeah, we can, I'll go into my repertoire.
Yeah.
My Facebook thing was I would tell a joke of the day regarding what was coming up.
I sent.
One more.
Okay, clean. Give me a clean joke.
How excited was the gardener about spring?
Tell me.
So excited he wet his plant.
Well, that's good. See, weather jokes are good. What's today?
That's just as bad as that. That's as bad as dad jokes, right?
Dad jokes are good. Okay, where's our hard wire?
Should DoorDash some ice cream or something, right?
Right?
Donuts, ice cream, something.
I say we do it and we post it after.
Yeah.
Let's just do it and post it after.
So, if the, okay, so what we're gonna do is you in the audience have a hard copy. We apologize that it is not available online. We will make sure it is posted online, but if you're able to listen and kind of follow along, we appreciate that and we apologize again. So we'll have a thon start, so we're not here till like 10 o'clock tonight.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Sorry.
So good evening, council and everyone watching. I'm just gonna give a quick overview of what happened with this developer that started communication with staff December 2024. Initially, he reached out to staff back in December 11, 2024. Asking some questions, general questions about the application, the process, and whatnot. Staff was very helpful. Be able to set up a meeting with a developer or future developer within the city. And we met the very next day. We set up a meeting, and in that meeting, developer presented a project, a very generic site plan and whatnot, very informative. We're very excited as any other development that comes to the city, but no application was submitted. As any other developer, we give the courtesy to let us know what the project entails. Then we received more materials about a month later, sketches, more detailed plans, and a video showing the large scale data center. It included other amenities, parking, and substation as well. In that meeting, with that communication, we gave the opportunity to the developer for him to either do a formal site plan review or a pre-application meeting. We offer that to everyone. In the pre-application meeting, you are able to get a lot of answers from the community development and the other departments. So the initial meeting with community development, it's very limited. We give as many information as we are able to at that time. But we offer the pre-application meeting for them to answer as many questions, so that once they have that information, they're able to submit a site plan, a more complete site plan, and there's nothing hiding. We try to be very open, very transparent, and worst case scenarios and whatnot. And they're well aware of that. Once they submit the site plan, then it goes through a formal site plan review. So the pre-application was back in March 4th, 2025, with most of the department heads, the development review committee, I would say. And then after that meeting, the developer submitted a site plan review application with the documentation that is required at that moment. There was a lot of communication. There was a lot of review. This is not an easy project. We provided the applicant a comment in regards to CEQA. So regarding CEQA, that's when you get a lot of public input. But we were very, very, very upfront with the developer. He was also very open, saying that it should be like a permitted use and whatnot. So we never committed to anything. We always were open to, was going to be reviewed. We reviewed the project, and we gave that comment to the applicant. It's not a permitted use under our ordinance, so he wanted to go through a similar land use determination and be as a permitted use. We said we will review it. We reviewed it, and we came to a conclusion that it has to go through a zoning text amendment to include that in our ordinance, go through a process of for the public to be notified, including CEQA.
Hawthorne, if I could, I'm sure that by now everyone knows what CEQA means, but just in case there's somebody out there that may not know what that acronym means, can you explain CEQA?
Yes, CEQA is the California Environmental Quality Act, and it is a process that most development has to go through. So for a site plan review, it's mainly for site plan review within the city. It is mainly to provide comments up front to developers, so to see what they expect. It's not for us to say, you submit an application under CEQA, you are exempt, we're going to move forward with the exemption, or we're going to do any other process within. Well, we give a site plan review, that's a different application, and we gave that option to the applicant. But it is in essence, it is the California Environmental Quality Act. So we provided those comments about 30 days later. he, within, we gave not only that comments, but in a lot of comments. Within the City of Imperial, we try to give developers all of the comments up front, every single one of them. Worst case scenario, it is very beneficial for everyone to have that. Cuts down the time, cuts down the back and forth with the city. It's very upfront.
Also, just, we just finally got it working, so, we'll make sure it is all available to the public and it's online. I think you're around this.
One slide back.
One back.
One slide
One
back.
Yeah.
I can go back there and do it.
Thanks. Can we go one slide back, please?
There.
Thank you.
So in April 4th, we provided the site plan review comments, and we stated that CEQA will be required, and as well as a lot of comments that deals with the project entirely. And the applicant submitted a revised site plan. That was back in May 15, 2025. At that time, he reduced the project. He added a commercial strip of land over SR 86 and a lot more modifications. He expressed to us that the project's compliance with our current zoning of the property, but we gave him the comments what it needed to be done in our interpretation of the code. Then he resubmitted a minor site plan review back in May 19, 2025. Next slide. So we received the email from the developer with all the backup material. We acknowledged that email in May 2025. In May 28, the developer submitted a revised plan with a copy of a feasibility study for city stuff. In that project, the applicant advised battery storage increased to 600 megawatts, and that's with that submitted site plan. But I was still within the city, within the project. The city was still in a position that CEQA will require. It didn't matter the increase of the project or not. In June 23rd, 2025, the developer provides a letter to the city stating his position on the data center, and it should be permitted by right. Next slide. So, and then on our communication, we received that, and then in our communication on July 15, 2025, we made the same comment. Maybe we added some other items because of the revisions of the site plan. But we identified that the project will be a discretionary review. We gave them the fees, we gave them timelines, and we gave them a really good timeline between 6 to 9 months. That's usually kind of what it takes. And in 6 to 9 months, it's more or less the time in a perfect world, how long it will take. It all depends on the public input as well. But we try to give the public, the developers, a timeline that works with staff as well, and works with their timeline as well. So on August 2025, we provide a letter again with all the requirements all over again, and still our interpretation of the code regarding CEQA. Very clear from the beginning of his first submission. CEQA has always been the item or the comment on the site plan review letter. We haven't changed our position. It's very clear, and that's our position. And following that, we'll say the very next day, I believe.
What happened?
Yes. The applicant formally withdrew his application. In one of the correspondence, he says that he wasn't able to convince the city that the project it's permitted by right, so he was going to withdraw his application and take the project somewhere else.
So, if I may ask a question, for those that don't know, where was he planning to build it originally?
It's if you're familiar with the drive-in theater, right behind it to the south of it, that's the huge vacant lot. That's where he was proposing this massive project.
Thank you.
Next slide. So this next section, you'll see that communication that it was, between the developer and staff, in which were very clear where our position was at. We were very upfront since the beginning of it. Public input was always part of it, and you'll see on the next slides what we were talking about. Next slide. And those paragraphs are taken from our email, and we were very clear what the project will require. We did the preliminary review of the site plan. We acknowledge how massive it is, and without an initial study, we will know what the magnitude of it will be. From the neck deck, MND, or an EIR.
You're back to talking acronyms. Just back up for 1 second. I know exactly what you're talking, but if you can give an overview of the initial study.
I do
Real
do
quick.
apologize.
It's a
So initial
short version.
study. So when we look at a project under CEQA, one of the things will be, is this project exempt? We've reviewed the project, and clearly for us was not exempt. It was not even listed in our ordinance. So we have to go through a process, and part of that it's CEQA. So we noticed that it was not exempt. That's our position, and it will require initial study. An initial study is where you see if they have any impacts. The project will have any impacts, and what type of impact will that be? At that time, we do a negative declaration or a mitigated negative declaration or environmental impact report. An EIR would be the highest. But we don't know until we see a complete application and we go through series of meetings and hearings and see what would the impact, if any, or what would we could mitigate with that initial study. But that was separate apart. But the position was be very upfront with the project and letting them know that CEQA will be required since the beginning. And you can see what I'm talking. Those are coming from our emails, but I just gave you a quick overview of the conversation that we had and the communication we had with the developer. Next slide. And as you can see on the July 3rd, 2025 email, the very preliminary site plan review of that what might required, and we were asked to see what kind of studies we would require, without even looking through the initial study. What the mitigation measures would be, what the impacts would be. We came up with a minimal list of what that will require. So as you can see, we went through the list, and we went from transportation, housing to air quality that we believed will have an impact to our community, and that will be the minimum requirements for this project. Like once again, no application for CEQA. and then to do an initial study. But that's what we believed at that time. What will that require? Next slide. And this is the section that I was talking that including the technical studies that we will require. We give him a brief timeline of the process, and that's a timeline that we usually give to all developers, 6 to 9 months. And it is, I think, we'll say we're very aggressive, but I think with the staff that we have, we are able to manage that. We give the opportunity to developers to, come up with some options, and we work with everyone the same way. So I think at 6 to 9 months timeline will be, it will be okay. And then also in a perfect world, depending on how fast the technical studies are in, and the public input. But that's part of the email that I was telling you about. Next slide. So those are other items that we are telling him it's not exempt from CEQA, and that our current ordinance does not include any data centers within the city. So it's not listed, therefore not permitted, and therefore you have to go through a public review, planning commission, and city council to be approved. Next slide. And then we will talk a little bit about the critical communication from the applicant. Next slide. As you can see, that's also part of that. He, acknowledging the part of CEQA. That's an email from the developer, but also he's acknowledging that since the beginning, he intended the project to be ministerial. And since he wasn't able to convince of this interpretation, he's withdrawing the request for the data center within the City of Imperial. Next slide. And that is all I have for now. Yeah, have any questions? I'm here to answer those.
I like how he writes if we want to amend our code. That was helpful.
Ma-
Yes, Mr.
Madam
Narita.
Mayor and Council, just a quick comment. As you can see, there's a lot that goes on that does not make its way to this council and does not make its way to the public. I strongly believe in our ordinances, though, in that the transparency, the public involvement, all happens as part of the process. It's probably an overworked used word. I know the staff complained to me because I probably overuse that word, but so a lot goes on, and that happens for a couple of reasons, probably a lot of reasons, but two I'll mention to you. One is Brown Act, and that there are rules about the kinds of things we can discuss in closed session and the kinds of things we can discuss in open session. Oftentimes, when folks come to Othone, it's very important to them that the fact that X company is thinking about coming to town, they don't want that to be made public. It will impact property price, their negotiations, and all of that, sort of thing. So there are Brown Act considerations, but perhaps more important is the approval process. And so if we are providing you all of the information that we have, and it turns out the process would require a public hearing, we would then be asking you to make your decision based upon the evidence that is presented to you in public hearing. And if you have a background of receiving all sorts of other information, outside the context of a public hearing, it could compromise that approval, that approval process. And I will say, from a 30,000-foot view, now obviously this project got our attention because of the magnitude of the project. But from, again, process standpoint, and I think Michelle can probably attest to this because she's probably been frustrated oftentimes in her development by the process that and she's talking single-family dwellings, right? And it's the same thing. If they want to build houses, single-family dwellings in an area that's not properly zoned, Othon's going to be saying that CEQA applies. There's going to be an initial study. They may have to do some level of environmental review, and on and on and on. Things may have to come to the council. There may have to be notice public hearings. And when developers hear that, what they see are dollar signs flying out the window, because the time is money for those kinds of projects. So from where I sit, we applied our scheme in the same way and in a consistent way. Othon has been at this a long time, is very experienced, and so I have a lot of confidence in our community development project department that there's a good balance between public involvement and moving economic development forward in the city of Imperial.
Thank you. You want to comment? So just a quick statement, the City of Imperial remains committed to transparency and consistency throughout every step of any process, especially data centers. This project has been handled in the same manner like Othon and our city manager mentioned, just like any other development. However, we are guided by policies, procedures, and our responsibilities to the public. So we feel it's important to bring this forward and to kind of share our side of where this came from so that the public is aware, and that transparency will roll over everything here, especially for city council in this. I think I speak for a lot of us, we're here for our residents, and we want to make sure that we are being transparent with them as well.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say a couple of things on this. You watch social media, you watch comments being made, and there's so much back and forth, people that are pro data center, because it's pro business, and then there's the anti data center that are getting kind of labeled as anti-business. I want to make it very clear, the City of Imperial is very much pro-business. We want businesses to come to Imperial, but we want to do it responsibly. We are very firm on the fact that when you have something of this magnitude with these types of potential impacts, yes, we want businesses, and we want to welcome our businesses, and we want the businesses to be have a home here. But we have a whole bunch of residents that we want to make sure are being considered and are safe and are happy, and they're not being forced to live, in these conditions. So please, I just want to make sure that people understand the City of Imperial welcomes businesses. We want the businesses here, and we definitely want the jobs and just to have the opportunities here, but we want it to be done responsibly and considering our residents also.
Oh, very nice.
And that's coming from an economic development manager.
James, do you want to make a comment?
No, I'm good.
You're good? Okay.
So one of the things I do want to say is, I think through the entire process, it's all we've ever done. We've been upfront with our residents. We've been upfront with our constituents. People ask, we tell. I think that's transparency to me, that we're not hiding anything. There is ways, there are some things that we can't do, and there's some things that we can't say, because through our closed sessions, we're bound to that. But we'll give the information that we can give. And I think a lot of our residents understand that, our constituents understand that we'll we'll give the information that is being asked for. We're not gonna hide it. So, but up until now, we're here. Like, Mayor Pro Tem Mendoza says, we're pro-business. We want the businesses. As a matter of fact, this, couple days ago, I met with an economic development person, and we were looking at our lots. What do we have available to bring the business? Where can we put them? We're looking at different areas. We're doing this all the time. We want it, but it has to be done the right way, no matter what. So that's my 2 cents on this, and I appreciate you guys all for being here.
So at this time, I'd like to open it up for public comment. So this will be on this agenda item only. So, members of the public may address the city council only on the items listed on the agenda, either in person. We can also have emails be sent in as well. We will limit this to 3 minutes. Anyone wishing to address the city council on these matters, I encourage you and welcome you to come up and speak. And we have a form filled out by Gina Snow.
And as of this time, I have not received any comments in writing yet.
Okay,
So
thank you.
I'll let you know if that changes.
Do I have to turn a microphone on or is it on?
It should be on. You just might adjust it to you though.
Shorter. Good evening, council. Recently, Supervisor Peggy Price issued her formal response to the notice of intention for recall. In that response, she described the April 7th vote as a routine land use action, stating that the supervisors who voted in favor were just following the law. Her response also placed notable attention on the City of Imperial and their prior communications with the developer regarding another location and a previously proposed site near the drive-in movie theater. And honestly, I think that distinction matters. Because what stood out to many residents was not only the defense of the county's actions, but also the decision to specifically bring the City of Imperial into the conversation. And I think residents naturally took notice when shortly after those statements were made, this special meeting regarding the pending litigation was scheduled. Especially when the project currently generating concern among residents is not the same location referenced in portions of her response. And I think public engagement matters here. Many residents first became aware of the current project through outreach and discussions connected to the City of Imperial, while many residents feel opportunities for public engagement at the county level have come later in the process and after significant decisions were already underway. I think those experiences have contributed to the frustration, confusion, and concern we're seeing throughout our community. So from the public's perspective, residents are trying to understand why focus is now being placed on prior discussions involving the city, while the active litigation continues to center on the county's approval process. What many residents are seeing is this: multiple agencies publicly disagreeing, ongoing litigation over CEQA and environmental review, and conflicting public explanations about what this project actually represents and how it moved forward. And I think that raises larger questions for our community. If this was truly just a routine land use action, why has it escalated to this level? Why are residents hearing such different narratives from different officials? And why are environmental review and public process concerns now central issues in active litigation? These are not small questions. And residents deserve transparency. Residents deserve clarity. And residents deserve confidence that decisions with potentially long-term impacts on Imperial Valley are being discussed openly and honestly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Peter Rodriguez.
Good evening, members of the council and audience. My public comment is information I received recently regarding the so-called lot merger. And I'll just read verbatim. The property cannot be merged without accompanying rezoning because the parcels have 3 different zones. And Lineberger Road has no zoning designation. County Code 9051.0 provides it. That every parcel should be classified in only one base zone. Neither the Subdivision Map Act nor the county code permits the rezoning of the property through lot merger approval. Therefore, rezoning was required with the lot merger. Look, I'm not a loud merger expert, just like county staff said they're not a data center expert, yet they present and say it's a real deal. This is information that perhaps you guys did not know, but as more is forthcoming, you're going to find out more details about this. We have the emails of the conversation with county officials and Mr. Rusi. These conversations go back to November 2025. I mean, conversations that happen, like, I know who the quarterback is. That's Tom DeVos. Why is he directing traffic? And that is something that is very disturbing because now he's suing the county. So the quarterback now on the sidelines. Who's going to quarterback this presentation? Probably Dr. Lang. But it's a sad times that people have to hide information. Elected officials, appointed officials have to hide. And Mr. Jim Minix, he's known as Mr. Sequa for the county. Nothing moves until he signs off everything. But this one, there it is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
And I just want to, Mayor, I apologize. I want to make it clear that we referenced some communications. Those communications are all public. We are going to make sure that we put this entire PowerPoint out for the public. And if the public has any questions, we're more than happy to answer those, likely through the Community Development Department, but feel free to reach out. Or if you need additional information for us, we're here to do that. We've got an address on our website that you can send in requests, or you can get a hold of the departments. Thank you.
I want to thank everybody for coming this evening on a Friday night for a special meeting, but we felt it was important to also share this information with the public and our residents so that we're forthcoming also with the narrative of our narrative of what's out there. So we thank you for being here on your Friday night. And if you have any questions, like our attorney mentioned, please reach out to us. We're here with an open ear and we want to be forthcoming with information as much as we can.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Everyone.
I'll close this meeting at 6:01.